for the first time in 3 years, we got a MCU panel at SDCC 2022.
MC Who? No.
We got a whole bunch of announcements about Phase 5 and Phase 6, and there was obviously a lot of projects that we still know are coming that didn't get their full announcement that are probably going to get shoved down our throats
in a month's
the next
time.
Few months,
yeah.
So we watch that. So we got Mike is here to help us break all that down. We'll do the 2 DC things. We'll do them.
The puny 2.
Puny.
Do we reckon that it was Kevin Feige who called in that tip that Henry Cavill was going to turn up just like, haha, I'm going to get everyone's hopes up for your panel and you've got nothing?
Do you know what would have been wicked if like that, everyone was expecting that and then Henry Cavill walked out with Kevin Feige and here's your new Captain Britain.
Oh, people were saying that, yeah, that would have been epic. Yeah.
Yes, we got. What did you think of the first look at the Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer?
I don't really know what to think about that one because it just looks like more of the same kind of thing, and I was expecting a little bit of a change, I guess. But it doesn't look bad. Don't get me wrong, and I liked the first movie, so yes, I'm here for child/superhero and the whole family dynamic and everything, and. Yeah, the jokes will be thick and fast, and yes, it's cool that they've hired older actresses to play villains, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. After West Side Story, I'm keen to see Rachel Zegler do something, but yeah, nothing stands out as like, oh wow, I really can't wait to see that. It just looks like, yeah, it's more the same.
Yeah, more commercial, more the same, more what worked before, and we're hoping that when the movie comes out, we could be surprised. Something can elevate our expectations. 'Cause, yeah, like you've said, it is pretty much nothing to scream home about. It was a trailer, it had good, and that's all I can say. Zachary Levi round 2, I'm here for it, but there's nothing to elevate our excitement at the minute.
No.
Yeah, I would get that. I think it's mainly because when you look at like what Black Adam is going to be, and that is very much like to esteemed fans or people that just pay attention in life that they are of the same world, so that's 2 completely different tones. So maybe
it's not just that though. I mean, even when they were talking about Black Adam, they said that they're using it to kind of stealth go forward with the Justice Society team because the Justice League are so problematic. So it's kind of like a reboot of the universe and then going ahead with those characters.
Oh yeah, I can see that, and I'm like I've said about Black Adam, I've always been excited for essentially Avengers, but from Loki's point of view film.
Yeah.
That's what intrigues me about it. I think we can agree as a collective that the DCEU as a whole is a broken mess to a point where they should just focus on individual stories and maybe in 5 to 6 years' time, maybe do a Justice League film if you can, or crossover here and there. But at the moment, I'm just fun, garish Superman man-child gets beaten up by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because that's inevitably where we're going to go with Shazam 3/Black Adam 2 it's clearly going to be these guys coming to a head, which
you say that, but everybody's trying to make it so that it ends up being Black Adam v Superman. So
I think that's what Dwayne's trying to advocate for, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really Mr. Cavill on the centre stage and make Zachary Levi a side piece. Or maybe they are just going to create the DC animated movies like Superman, Shazam, The Return of Black Adam, and just do that.
Yeah, that 12-minute movie.
No, 100. Add a 0. 120 minutes.
The thing is, I'm surprised that the Shazam trailer featured so much footage from Justice / other films.
It did deliberately not show you Ezra Miller's face though.
Oh yeah. And I think that's for good reason, because they were clearly running away from the police, and they just.
You're not wrong.
He lost his visual effects in that shot, hence why it was from the back.
So I would say that. It was weird. We saw the back of Ezra Miller. We saw Wonder Woman. We saw Ben Affleck Batman. This is clearly still set within the DCEU, whatever. Because
that's the thing I don't get. Because even that Justice League appeared at the end of Peacemaker, and it's like, are you going forward with this team, or what are we supposed to think?
It's like you're going forward with this team, but then Batman wasn't one of the silhouettes, was he?
No, he was, but it was in silhouette. You didn't see Superman or Batman. I think
No,
that was the thing.
I thought there was only 4 of them because I thought it was.
Oh no,
Flash.
you're right. Yeah, Superman and Wonder Woman were in silhouette, and then there was Flash and Aquaman who were there. Yeah,
because there was no Batman and no Cyborg.
That's right. It wasn't Cyborg. Yeah,
but now there's Batman, but then no Superman. So like, what is this post?
What is going on?
Is this post the Flash?
Yeah,
I feel like everyone at DC is like, right, we're doing this with the Flash movie. How do we make this fit now? And then have taken a big fucking sigh as they fucking cross out their flow chart now that Ezra Miller keeps getting himself arrested and, you know, seemingly letting children just be around guns and like drugs in a house.
Is this worse than Sony's attempt at their universe at this point? Every film seems to change its rules.
You know, I think it's tough to, you know, compare actual crime to Morbius. It's close. I feel like I was robbed.
I wasn't going there.
I feel like I was robbed when I went in there, but more of my time and my sense of purpose in life for those however long that film was. Because I tried rewatching it the other day and I was like, no, this is
not Morbius.
This is
bad. Yeah.
But
no, part of me really wants to rewatch Morbius, and I don't know why.
I think I would. I would rewatch it, but I would not do it sober.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool.
Fair enough.
But yeah, out of the two, I'd say Black Adam intrigues me just that bit more. Like Shazam's probably.
Definitely.
I had to say.
A safe bet. Shazam will probably turn out to be the better overall movie, whereas Black Adam could be.
I don't know. I think Black Adam might, because I think Dwayne Johnson. You know, he's. You can say what you want about him. He wears the same shirt in most movies, but he is very committed to what he does because he has got great star power, and he's been signed for Black Adam for so long.
He's not a dig at Dwayne, but his movies is basically his own genre. That you have action movies, you have Avenger, and then you have Dwayne Johnson movies,
and some of them are not.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I'm gonna advocate for the supporting cast in Black Adam as well. I think they are better than the supporting cast of Shazam, which is, it's got Adam Brody and it's got DJ Couture and whatever among the family. But look at the Justice Society; they've cast Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate or Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. These are big castings,
They are, and I like that Pierce Brosnan was like, Dr. Fate just found me at the right time in life because I'd got over James Bond and now I just want to do shit basically. And he's like, I'll
superhero
do it.
Moon
Like
Knight, Egyptian god Moon Knight-esque.
But so I think Black Adam could turn out better. But in terms of like my DCU films, I'd say it's a toss-up between the Suicide Squad and Shazam. Probably the Suicide Squad, if I rewatched it, would probably just edge it. And then third is Birds of Prey. They're kind of like
your order.
That's my top quality in terms.
I like Aquaman, to be honest.
I like Aquaman's like a fourth, but with a bit of a gap because it had 3-4 different movies in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has multiple movies in it.
I think that the thing that holds it together is Jason Momoa's charisma.
Jason Data.
Regular human Atlantean, and I would. I'm really looking forward to both films, but I think Black Adam's going to obviously be something different. It's going to be. They're essentially going to be two films that actually link together in the DCEU because there is going to be a story building towards it. In terms of
one of them's going to have a post-credit scene that links to the other one way or the other. I reckon.
Yes,
Shazam will be in the post-credit for Black Adam.
No, I think I would wager that Dwayne Johnson would appear in the post-credits of Fury from the Gods, and basically
Shazam 3.
And basically, Shazam 3.
Revenge of the Gods.
Revenge of the Shazamness. Should we try and do like
some sort of an order?
Should we do it like by the phase and then?
I have the order if you want. Yes.
The order. Mike, give us the. You be the MC.
I've got it.
Put your Kevin Feige on. Get your Charlie Cox out and let
me stick on my Captain Marvel branded cap or whatever. I stayed up till 3 a.m. watching all of these things come in and making like notes on my phone of what's coming out when and stuff. So I have got them all here. The very next thing, just to briefly touch on because it's not really much, is going to be I Am Groot, the 5 kind of like kids animated cartoons. I'll watch it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Like the animation style looks great.
Yeah, the production.
It's like high CG a la Lion King.
Very.
Considering that it's good, main character doesn't speak, like I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, something different.
Yeah, but they have said that Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper are in it, so.
Oh, yes.
Well, okay, that's something.
So is it going to show him aging up into Groot?
No, I think it's meant to. It's based at kids. It's basically like Pixar shorts thing where they're 5 or 6 minutes, but they are based around things that kids can relate to. So it's like Baby Groot takes a bath, Baby Groot goes exploring, Baby Groot brushes his teeth or whatever, you know. So it's just kind of like doing everyday things, but like a funny take on it.
You've heard it here first. 3 or 4 episodes have just been announced right now.
Yeah,
That is
Baby Groot and the Amazon delivery driver of death.
But yeah, so I mean, I think we're all gonna watch that, but it's not really gonna. It's not gonna do wonders, is it?
When is this one out? Is it? I thought it was August.
The next thing out is I Am Groot, and that is next week. Because the week after that is when we start She-Hulk, which I'm very excited for.
Baby. Yeah, baby.
I'm
After the
excited
recent
since the
trailer.
second trailer.
Yeah. That
I love it.
trailer.
I read a thing.
Yep.
I read a thing online that it was due to the compression rate of stuff like YouTube was like it sort of made the I don't know if this was them trying to make an excuse for it. It made the CGI look worse. Like it will look much better on the streaming platform.
It does on Disney Plus because they put the trailer up there to watch on Disney Plus, and when you do, it does look better. To be fair,
I like the humor. I like that we got fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
I like that everyone's getting excited about the first time since 2008.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the cameo at the end, and I like that they cut it off. I like it. Oh no, you missed that the first time, didn't you?
No, I saw the cameo, but it just didn't occur to me that it was someone with a cock, maybe someone not with a cock. I don't know. It's just a person. You see their silhouette. You see their like bulge, and you see batons, and that's all I'll tell you.
You see yellow.
You see a yellow and red costume.
Or black suit,
which looks like they've brought back that Daredevil costume and painted it different colour. Really,
the classic.
They're going with the classic yellow and red. Yeah, awesome.
But is it from the Daredevil Yellow run? Is that what it's called, or is it just they renamed it?
No,
Daredevil Yellow, I think.
It was the one he started off in the comics. He started off with the yellow kind of gym leotard with.
Yeah, that is his OG. I saw D and I thought that is a nod to his yellow costume. Then I looked at a different image that had the yellow colour. Oh, it is that suit.
And the best thing about Marvel is we get like loads of different suit variations. So he'll end up in the full red if people are pissing.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
I'd love if they put him in the Ben Affleck suit.
Just for
like... Maybe if he appears in Deadpool, they do that for a laugh.
Still your Ben Affleck. Oh, I forgot. You're the cut. This appearance is not really a surprise because this was kind of teased by Feige when She-Hulk was first announced.
Just by concept,
basically.
I think we were surprised that it's going to actually feature him in costume, though, because like, they said that there was rumors he was going to be in Spider-Man, and it was 2 seconds as Matt Murdock, so we were like, oh, okay. So, and being a legal show, I think we were all like, oh, it'll just be Murdock in the courtroom. That'll be how they do it.
But that's how we're gonna. So we're gonna see him in that, and then we're gonna see him in Echo. Is that what's confirmed? And then we'll see him that we'll talk about in a bit. But the She-Hulk trailer was a lot better. I think Tatiana Maslany is going to be fantastic.
Absolutely
the humor
incredible.
hit a lot more.
She's so good.
Because I don't know if you felt this, Mike. Because I think maybe a bit of fatigue over the last sort of few months, like post Spider-Man, was kind of a bit like I felt like I was picking and choosing. Like I'll watch what's essential, but then I'll kind of because like Miss Marvel, I kind of saved. To watch like as a block at the end. Like I watched the first 2 episodes, like started the third, and I was kind of like, I don't really feel like I need to watch this.
Not tonight.
Which is a shame because Iman Vellani is quite fantastic. The ending of that show like leads it into a place with a sequel that's gonna like be really fun and interesting to see. But like Moon Knight, I loved, but like stuff like I think audience anticipation kind of derailed Doctor Strange for a lot of people. I had a lot more fun with it because I had lowered my expectations based on everyone pissing and moaning about it, and I just kind of enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
I did on
again.
rewatch,
I heard something about
yeah.
I heard something about Doctor Strange that said that like it ultimately boils down to it being named badly because you're expecting multiple multiverses and stuff, and it's like if it was just called something like Magic Man versus Evil Witch, you'd be like, this is the greatest film ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that, and I think obviously it's everyone going like off the.
It would have affected the scores, that's for sure.
It's kind of the No Way Home thing of like, you know, well, they've done that, so surely that so and so is going to be in it, and so is going to be in it. And I think it blew its load with a lot of the trailers. Like I think Captain Carter didn't really need to be in the trailer, that second TV spot or whatever it was.
Professor X definitely didn't need to be in the trailer.
But if you'd have saved Patrick Stewart for We Should Tell Him the Truth in the actual film, I think that would have been a No Way Home moment of like, holy shit,
yeah.
You know, he's a different version, but he's there because I think John Krasinski by default got the most because it just wasn't really spoiled, even though everyone kind of alluded to it, and there was screenshots that went round the day before, and I saw one of those.
Personally, I was more shocked to see Black Bolt in there.
I love Anson. Justice for
Anson Mount.
And let's
for Captain Pike.
I think the Inhumans.
Captain Pike. Oh, of course, yeah.
What's after She-Hulk?
After She-Hulk.
A new look at Transforming. That was cool.
Transforming.
And you look at what?
Of Emile Blunt.
Yeah, the featurette was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just stoked to get more Tim Roth, really, especially after Shang-Chi
and the good the invisible cameo of Nothingness. A little bit. It was actually just a 2-second. And then it was, come on, one was like, come on, let's go back to your cell. And then to finally find out that the portal in Shang-Chi was She-Hulk's cell.
That Wong's been breaking him out to make money on the side.
Yeah,
in illegal
for whatever reason. As the Sorcerer Supreme, what on earth is he?
It clearly doesn't pay well. And we get a Wong cameo in the new trailer, which was...
Yeah.
It's Wong's world and we're just living
Phase
Definitely. And I loved. As I say, I loved the featurette because I'm happy to see that Jamila Jamil's still getting work, and she looks good as Titania. And I love that there's references to everything from Frogman to the Wrecking Crew to like crazy magicians of the Marvel U and stuff. So, yeah.
Bloody Frog.
We're gonna get. They've said need like people that haven't been introduced yet in the MCU, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On August 17th, right?
August 17th. Not long now. So the next thing after that is in November in terms of Marvel, and that is Black Panther. Wakanda nonsense is this, as I call it, or Wakanda Forever, if you prefer.
What nonsense is?
And we got a trailer. Which was it was very. I don't know about you guys, but I was very kind of emotionally touched by this.
Yeah, it was very heartfelt, regardless of the real
of the song. Which they got translated as like "The King is Forever" or something. There's a poster.
But even if you didn't know what happened to Chadwick in real life, I feel like you could have watched the trailer not known, because he doesn't make a point of, our Black Panther is gone. We need a new Black Panther. The film just kind of does.
Unfortunately, it does look like the leaked plot on Reddit might be true.
Well, how's that unfortunate? It's bloody great.
I don't want to know.
I didn't read the leaked plot
on Reddit. I will save it from you.
I know. I think I know vaguely the structure, but I'm pleased to see that there's more to it, because I was like, it's going to deal with the loss of the Black Panther. But I was pleased to see they're doing the kind of Atlantis versus Wakanda war type stuff, even though they're not calling it Atlantis because we can't because of DC, so it's called like some old Mexican place or something.
Mayan Aztec culture, and the appearance sort of reflects that. They're not just typical finned Little Mermaid people in live action or copying of Aquaman, for example.
Like, do you stand, Mike, on the absence of T'Challa as a character?
I think they've done everything they possibly could, because they've been as respectful as possible. They're making it part of the plot. They didn't just do the Terrence Howard recast thing, which would have been really crass. I mean, I think they're doing the right thing by making it a focus of the movie, especially because it makes sense that if you're being invaded and you've just lost your king, your second king in however many years, that is going to be an important weakness,
Well, yeah.
True. Yeah. I'm kind of two minds about it, because I've seen obviously a lot of people talk about this in terms of T'Challa is such an important character to not just in the comics, but obviously to black culture in general. Like the strides that first movie made, like it's down to the hard work of Chadwick and stuff. But the arguments are that it also doesn't have to end there, and I think a lot of that was based off of Letitia Wright coming out and being anti-vaxxer, saying like everything's the work of the devil and using her platform essentially to be a bit of a twat. Yeah. And it was kind of like, well, maybe we should just recast him. But
well, I hear what you're saying, but the fact that we know that this saga is leading up to Secret Wars means that they can just recast and everything at that point and just change whatever they like. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a new Black Panther from a different Earth or whatever at the end of that. But why do it now?
Yeah. I get that, but also it's a thing of like it's a shame that he's not in it. I think that was the main thing watching that trailer. Was I was just gutted that there is no Chadwick Boseman in this. But also the kind of the stories that you could, whether they do that or not, like going forward, if like this is it for T'Challa in this universe, then it's kind of a loss, because people like said like God forbid, but if Tom Holland dies, they still make Peter Parker Spider-Man. Robert Pattinson dies, you still get Bruce Wayne Batman. Why does it have to be Black Panther that then has to die?
I don't think they will. I think they know what they're doing, and they know that they'll lead up to Secret Wars, so it made sense to do the story now of like who would be the successor that can take you there, and then by Secret Wars just say, it's T'Challa of Earth 684 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do something like that, but also like I was kind of like when it was like who would be the Black Panther. Obviously, like, everyone was saying Shuri, and we get a glimpse of someone at the end that we don't see much of them, but from what we see, they seem to have a more feminine physique. Yeah. I was one that collared for. I wanted M'Baku to be both Black Panther and possibly like, there's a rumor that maybe he would become the ruler, and then Shuri would be the Black Panther. I would have liked him to do it. I
heard the rumor that they were going to share the Black Panther. But...
Yes, yeah, like that. Nakia, I would like, because Lupita Nyong'o's fantastic, and like the Queen, like the King's Queen, would be a fitting successor.
Yeah.
And that was Daniel Kaluuya's character called.
He's not in it, to be fair. He's always said he's not coming back, but he was Okoye's lover or husband or something like that.
He said nope.
Yeah. But
he said nope.
But I think he would have been great. But I think, more Winston Duke.
Get out.
Getting more of Yeah. Well done. All of Lupita Nyong'o. It's just us here. And
make me attack the block.
Strong card. Very good.
Very good.
I think it's such a strong cast here. I'm looking forward to seeing bloody Martin Freeman back. See what Everett K. Ross has been do.
Bilbo.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously getting Namor. I think the man that's playing him seems like he's going to be cracking in the part, and I'd love to see where because Namor outdates Aquaman by like 6 or 7 years.
I found out literally he and the original Human Torch, not Chris Evans nor Michael
and
Jordan,
Jim Hammond.
Like the Marvel Comics issue 1, October.
They predate Marvel Comics. It wasn't known as Marvel back then because they go back to the 1930s, pre-Captain America. So it was like Timely or Atlas or something.
Yeah.
Had Human Torch and Namor.
Yeah.
I'm surprised just by that sort of fact that it's taken them this long to get around to one of the original.
Well,
but
it's rights issues because he's technically the first mutant, so they didn't own him.
Yeah. That was true, wasn't it? And obviously the fact that Aquaman happens in real life, so you kind of think, let's not do an Aquaman movie with our Aquaman right now. Leave it a bit. And obviously, because when Stan Lee then wrote Fantastic Four, he repurposed the Human Torch to put a version of that character into that as well. So he predates
that in the
a
end.
lot of things, but it's nice to, like you say, finally get him.
The original Human Torch has a shit name when you think about it because he's not human.
Yeah.
The Alien Torch.
Yes. The alien.
He's an android.
You, computer man. Fix my
He should be called the Android Torch, if anything.
Should be called the Eye Torch.
Oh.
Yes. Apple Eye Torch. Anyway, do you want me to move on to Phase 5 now?
Yes, because guys, that is
just. Just before I do, there's a couple of quick things in Phase 4 that they didn't talk about, but I wanted to note that are coming out because they are going to do a Halloween special on Disney Plus.
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, the only thing we know is that it probably involves Werewolf by Night, but they haven't really revealed much else. And there will be, even though it is technically the start of Phase 5, there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that.
Apparently that leads into like Volume 3, and it actually does a lot of important characters in the Marvel universe,
so to speak.
Yeah. We'll get to Volume 3 because there was a lot of news and casting came out about that as well, which I want to talk about.
Yeah, exclusive footage that we aren't going to see because we are going to get a different trailer to what people at the
because James Gunn said the trailer for Volume 3, like it was obviously that it was made for the convention, but there's still stuff that's not how he would like it or how it's going to look in the final film. So there's VFX shots that aren't finished, and so we know the outlook of Phase 4, but we got a full Phase 5 for now because stuff can still chop and when Phase 3 was announced, Inhumans was in, Spider-Man was and so don't be that kind of dots around a little. I don't expect it to change majorly, but I think there was some stuff maybe added or changed a little bit. Yeah. But we got
a lot of stuff still just. A lot of stuff has vague dates like spring, summer, autumn.
Yeah, and there's 7 that have been announced that haven't got been given an actual date and title yet.
Yeah,
whatever it was on the.
There's gaps, but they're probably going to be revealed at D23, so we'll see.
When they said, we're going to get a lot more shit for the rest of the year and into next year, obviously. They plant the flags and place in later. But obviously, they registered a lot of trademarks before SDCC, and some of them turned out to be true.
So very true.
I think
some were just video games and shit, though. But,
anyway. But it lead us into yonder phase. It feels weird to say Phase 5.
I know, right? So soon. The official start of Phase 5 will be in, February the 17th next year. And that will be Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So, any thoughts on that before I get into it?
Well, really, the true beginning, arguably, of this multiverse saga. I mean, Loki season 1.
Loki,
No Way Home, and then whatever happened in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, was it really that mad? Not at the minute. But when we get to Quantumania, things are going to ramp up to 10 as the world's smallest hero is going to go up against the world's biggest time-traveling conqueror. And no, it's not the Master. It's not the Rani. It's not bloody Omega. His name is Kang, the Conqueror.
Did you see the description of the brief clip that they put out from Ant-Man and the Wasp?
What, the poster?
No, there was a very brief. There was a brief clip where it's basically Ant-Man meeting Kang, and they're revealing that it isn't a variant; it is him because Ant-Man basically says, "Oh, don't mess with me, I'm an Avenger," and then Kang just looks at him and goes, "I'm a conqueror." And I was like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah,
I thought I read something that I've killed an Avenger before.
No, it's like, have I killed you before or something like
that?
Yeah,
I've killed Avengers before.
Yeah, so it's amazing that we're getting the cap off of this Ant-Man trilogy, and I hope it doesn't mean the end for Paul Rudd as Scott Lang for a very long time yet, because
if they're saying they're Avengers, they're probably going to turn up in those movies,
Oh yeah.
Well,
hopefully, and it's like Kevin Feige said, it's nice to finally give this saga a name, and to know it's all building towards being. It's on Jonathan Majors' shoulders, and
he's not well.
It's Jonathan Major's shoulders and whoever they cast as Doctor Doom, in my opinion, but that's a different argument, I guess.
Doctor Doom very much going to be a secondary antagonist.
Not if they're doing Secret Wars.
Become a big player.
Well, no, because the rumor is that he's going to be in it, but it's still going to be he's still second fiddle to Kang, and until Kang is defeated, I assume then.
I heard the opposite because that's the whole point in why the first one's called the Kang Dynasty because that is basically them dealing with Kang, and then Secret Wars is Emperor Doom who takes over the multiverse or whatever. But it could be wrong. This is a rumor. But
I was going to say, this is how you feel. Kang Dynasty is just going to be Kang's movie, and then Secret Wars is going to be a la Doom movie.
Yes, personally, yes.
Okay.
But I'd love Doom to sort of be in a bit more than just
Secret Wars.
In Secret Wars, because I think
it'd be a fantastic film.
Deserves to.
If the rumors are true, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. At the
Post credits, maybe. Yeah,
perhaps. Yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps.
There's
Whether or not that'll be
there's
forced,
stuff
or
that
there
I've
will
read
be
and
things in
heard
it.
about that.
Whether or not there'll actually be things in it that will feel earned, or it will be a random dun 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 post
Because he's
credits.
such a big Marvel villain in general, and he kind
He
of
is.
should be like recurring, a la was in the first like 2 phases. Really, like he should kind of be
on that level.
like a dastardly. Pretend that I betrayed you, but sort of, he should be. He should feel like Delgado did. You know, like I've got this plan. I'm going to take over. Oh fuck! It's gone wrong. Please, I'm begging you. Don't.
I can see them doing something like that, because I can see them doing it that he's the one who ultimately helps to defeat Kang, and they're kind of like, oh, we may have misjudged you, we've got you wrong. And then, as I said, by Secret Wars, it's like, no, you didn't, I just wanted the power. Ask one last question about Ant-Man and the Wasp, then. What are you guys' thoughts on Catherine Newton taking over as Cassie Lang? And now we know from the poster she will be either Stature or Stinger in costume. So,
yes, because I think it's still pretty shitty how they
just
how
replaced.
replaced. I forget what her name is that played her in Avengers
I
Endgame.
forget. I always get her confused with the little girl, but yeah, the actress who played her in Endgame was very shafted. It's not very fair. Like,
I think it was at Investor Day or whatever when they announced it, and were like, and so is now taking over as Cassie Lang. That was a bit shitty.
It was Emma Thurman in Avengers Endgame, and it will be portrayed by Catherine Newton in Quantumania. Emma Thurman.
I think at the end of the day, it's a character that the best portrayal has been in the first 2 movies. Let's be real.
the little girl, yeah.
I look forward to that. I just hope it leads at some point to the rumored, Young Avengers that they.
I know. I can't believe they didn't announce that, because they've introduced every one of that team. That's got to be one of the unannounced things, surely.
Well, in the gap between a certain other movie and then when we eventually get to Secret Wars, like there's a load of gaps.
I wouldn't put 3 movies with the Avengers title in one phase.
No, exactly. No, of course
Even
not.
if it is just Young Avengers.
2 is a bloody treat.
2
is a bloody treat.
Avengers Academy, as it's rumoured to be called, which sounds a bit High School Musical, but
it does.
Anyway.
I think I like them 3. Like it works. Like Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and like Catherine Newton. Like, I think I think it's gonna work, because it will be, dare I say it, a Fantastic Four test run in terms of a family superhero dynamic.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Perhaps,
because Korg has definitely been a practice run for the Thing.
Yeah,
in terms of CGI.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, because Peyton Reed has heavily been lobbied for a Fantastic Four movie since the early 2000s. And I think if, you've chosen one of your recurring directors to direct the Avengers film, maybe you choose the safe pair of hands for the Fantastic Four film. That I think Peyton Reed could do a good job on that, possibly.
I still think they give it to John Krasinski, and that's how he basically went in for the cameo, to be honest.
Well, he was like, I'll only do it if you let me direct it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how they probably got, because like to go to his agent and be like, do you want to role in this movie, even if it's a Marvel movie for 2 minutes, isn't that appealing? But if they'd went and said, would you like to direct Fantastic Four? You can be Mr. Fantastic, but we need you to turn up on set like next week. It could be like, all right, okay.
Have we not watched Jim Halpert at The Office? John Krasinski's a very smart man.
Yeah.
He's in the sales industry. He knows. He knows.
But a name that I've heard that I'm not against, especially with her work in Star Wars, Bryce Dallas Howard, I think, could do a good job.
Yeah, Deborah Chow, for that matter, after doing Obi-Wan, would be pretty quality.
Yeah. You can have Owen McGregor in it as well. Just talking about.
It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering.
Actually. Now you say that, Ewan McGregor, Mr. Fantastic, I don't hate that. But I think
not bad.
Like Krasinski's obviously the dream, and like they've said, I don't know if Mike, you've watched the assembled documentary for Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness yet, but they talk about that. It's a fans wanted to see, so that's kind of why we did it. Like it might not, because our thing was like everyone in that room, bar Patrick Stewart, was they're played by their MCU counterpart, like same actors. Yeah. So does that mean that in our universe he will still be played by John Krasinski? Because that would be fun, but also I think Penn Badgley could still do a really good job. Henry Gold.
Yeah,
Is that Henry Goldberg?
Yeah, from you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. That's a different phase. It's a different phase of our lives, man.
Speaking of things that are going to have a massive impact, in spring, immediately following Ant-Man and the Wasp, Secret Invasion comes, and they made it a TV show. What's that about?
And again, 6 episodes. It's still 6 episodes. Is that enough to cover one of the biggest modern comics? Is that enough?
I don't think the story will be done entirely. Like I think it's going to be. It will start off, but then hopefully it will bleed into
other things.
The rest of that phase.
Well,
if not,
it's going to have an impact because they've confirmed it is going to do the comic thing of we'll reveal that at least 1 or 2 of the heroes have been Skrulls the whole time. So people are speculating who, but it's going to affect things going forward, isn't it?
That's the thing. Has Marvel not paid attention to their universe? It can't just be 1 or 2 characters. It's going to have to be like, not to name the whole roster, but it's going to have to be like a substantial amount of people. But I don't want every 5 minutes to be. Doctor Strange is real, but you want so-and-so to be real. Oh, look, we brought Maria Hill back. Oh, but she's obviously not real. Like, I don't want that every episode. But again, as soon as episode 6, it's going to change, not just phase 5 or 6 or whatever they do with Avengers Secret Invasion Wars, but it's going to stay with the MCU for however long this thing lasts, surely.
You say that, but the fact is that they're throwing in such minor characters that it's blatantly just going to end up being, oh, Maria Hill and Everett Ross were Skrull, and maybe Nick Fury is, and it's not going to be like, oh, War Machine and Doctor Strange were Skrulls, you know?
Maybe War Machine, and that's why they keep pushing Armor Wars back.
Well,
right.
Maybe, yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't hate that idea. I just feel bad for Cheadle.
One thing we didn't mention briefly about Ant-Man and the Wasp was that it's rumoured to actually have the first MCU appearance of MODOK.
It does, yeah. No, they actually revealed, there was a clip of it. It wasn't just a rumour because they are using, this is really weird, but they're having it be played by the guy who was Yellow Jacket in the first movie. And so the explanation for him looking that way is that he was kind of crushed into a weird kind of head thing. Which, yeah.
That's strange, because I think it would have been nice to just have it be Patton Oswalt from the TV show universe, but that would
no, they revealed it was they revealed it was Corey Stoll, but they did also, the other thing I forgot to mention that was revealed was that Bill Murray's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but they haven't said who he's playing, so that's a treat.
He would have been a fun MODOK.
Krelar is the name I keep reading. I don't know, again, if that's rumoured or they confirmed
I don't know who that is
at the convention. Krelar?
Doesn't mean anything to me. Sorry.
It's just a name. I don't know.
If you say it enough, someone will know what it means. Yes, those things. Secret Invasion, because was that what we were on?
Yeah. And I mean, it's got a good cast because like Emilia Clarke and Olivia Colman are coming in to do stuff, but it just seems like they've really downplayed what was a huge thing in the comics, you know?
Yeah, unless that episode 1 is going to be like game changing, it's really going to just right from the get go. The first scene is going to be a what the fuck type twist, and then they've somehow got to keep that through the runtime, through the 6 episodes. If it's
that's the thing. How are they gonna match the moment in the comic? I think it was at the end of issue 1 or 2 where it's just like a spaceship lands and then like 24 actual heroes walk out, and it's like we were on the Skrull homeworld the whole time, and your jaw just drops like, oh shit, they've been replaced. But
like, I'm excited. I want Samuel L. Jackson back. I want to know why he's grown a fucking beard in space. I want to know these answers.
Not just that, he's got an extra eye back as well.
Oh yeah, more importantly, the fucking eye. His visual effects on his eye. How is it going to actually change? So focused on Kang and the Secret Wars and the multiverse. How is a bunch of aliens in a short series going to change?
Is it going to also link back to fighting? At the end, they have to they end up fighting the Super Skrull, and giving the Fury has to give the weapon to Deadpool because they'll never believe that they gave it to him or whatever, and then Norman's using it to then destroy the Super Skrull and claiming victory and building the Dark Avengers and slowly being an evil.
Will this lead into Thunderbolts, which is coming?
So much,
jumping way ahead. Thunderbolts.
I'm glad that we got some clarity on where this is going, but I think it raises a lot of questions as well.
Of course.
Does this all cohesively fit in together? Is it going to get enough time?
Is this quantity over quality at this point?
Mm-hmm.
think that's
It's a fair question.
But I think that's a bait for later on down the line. Sorry, Michael. Next.
Yeah, that's fine. The next thing on May I believe 5th of next year is finally Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which we touched on earlier. Which
Dum 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 dum.
Hey, we made your fucking movie. Way, Pasty.
I mean, I was already on board for this one, but you know, I don't love that it's been confirmed as the end, and it's going to be emotional and sad, and we're going to have to deal with seeing Baby Rocket being abused into whatever he becomes and stuff. But I do love the Guardians movies in general, and I love that James Gunn has brought Chukwudi Iwuji over from Peacemaker to play the High Evolutionary, and he's got Maria Bakalova, who was Borat's daughter, to voice Cosmo the Space Dog. So I'm loving what I see already.
Bloody amazing.
Obviously,
Good
we
stuff.
get Will Poulter portraying Adam Warlock in this
Yes,
film.
Adam Warlock, of course.
Yeah.
We got there was a first look at that, wasn't there, in the footage?
Yeah, but we didn't see it. But yeah, apparently they did see Adam Warlock in the footage. But yeah.
I am excited. I think because this film would have been out yonks ago, had COVID not happened, and obviously the firing that we specifically
saved. We reversed.
Check out episode 3.
We saved.
Kevin Feige definitely watched that and went, I can't do that to these people.
They will have their movie, goddammit.
But what Guardians do you think are going to die? Because I think it's
well, the thing is, they've already kind of said that the characters that won't come back are the ones that are there in live action. Like you might have Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel pop back up for voice roles, but Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax, and Mantis and Nebula, they're all fair game to be just killed off.
Not Sean Gunn? Well, so Sean Gunn's the only one that's going to survive. Is that your early prediction?
Like anybody live action, like I said, but the only other plot information that we have is that Gamora's leading the Ravagers now, because of course she's the one that didn't know Peter Quill that came from the alternate timeline in Endgame, which is going to be confusing as fuck as well. But
pre-2014, not real Gamora, yet Star-Lord is still going to pine over her.
Yeah.
But it'll be weird, interesting and weird to see how that dynamic plays out.
And obviously they won't, leave the Guardians in a place where it's never going to, they'll leave it in a place where it can come back in a few years' time.
Yeah.
Because they can just do a different roster or, throw some characters in space. Because
I do think, if you're asking me who's getting killed off, I think personally my money's on Drax, because Batista's already said he's exhausted. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Certainly he can't have his shirt off anymore at his age. So I think we'll see Drax killed off in the movie. Maybe Gamora as well.
He
said he's got however many years left of doing action movies to get him in for or whatever.
Shame. I love Batista.
I don't think they would kill Gamora. I feel like anyone that's already been killed off or disliked. So I don't think they would kill off Groot, because we've seen him disappear.
Groot and Rocket are fine.
We've had him destroyed by the ship. I don't know. I feel like Rocket would be, for me. I think Rocket would be the most emotional one out of all of them, because we've kind of grown with him and learned a lot about him. You see the suggestions of him being an animal that was abused and turned into I never asked to be made and all that kind of stuff. And the emotional journey and connection he has, and he's the emotional pivot for Thor, and really sort of brings him around in Infinity War and gets him back in the game. So I think it's a lot more of a loss for him. And then it would, it would free up a lot more money, because if you're not playing Cooper a bit, but I think him, Star-Lord, I think
he's
it's a high percentage.
I think Star-Lord's fine. They're not necessarily going to bring him back in, but they're not going to kill off Star-Lord.
I don't know. I think, obviously, leading man, maybe that's a thing that James Gunn might think of, you won't expect this.
Nobody's going to be especially sad about the loss of Chris Pratt, though, are they?
Might, but I would say I don't think Nebula will, because Karen Gillan posted about I don't really know if this is it or not, but if it is, it's been fun. If it's not, I'll come back. Need me kind of thing. So I feel she's the outstanding performers in everything she's been in terms of her arc has been great. And it'd be nice to see her do stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's gotten more to do as the films have moved on, you know. So,
I mean,
So she was in Guardians 2.
yeah.
She did a. She was
it
there.
was
In,
crucial to Endgame.
she was there in Endgame. She was there in Infinity
She didn't
War.
say anything. She didn't say anything. She had no lines in Thor: Love and Thunder.
No.
No, well,
No.
nobody did in Thor: Love and Thunder. That was a bare cameo just because they had to explain why he'd left the Guardians or whatever. But,
Yeah,
no,
which
I think she was central to Endgame, and she's pretty good in What If as well. To be fair.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Fine.
Hopefully,
Fair
we get
enough,
more Pom Clementine. She deserves a bit more, and she was in the Suicide Squad, wasn't she? As the
Very briefly, yeah.
at the club where Peter Capaldi hangs out.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even on set. That was just like in the breaks.
Yeah, that was just Peter Capaldi going to a strip club. Man.
His big bulbous sweating head. Tell me, Clara,
A good
have I
man.
got enough money to throw at this woman's ass?
Jeez.
Yeah,
No,
Guardians. Unanimously agree. Very excited.
Absolutely. The next thing after Guardians is very appropriate to the audio issues that I'm hearing because it's a show that's called Echo, which there's not really a lot to say about that other than it's a spin-off of Hawkeye. It's probably going to have Matt Murdock and Kingpin in it. They've confirmed.
They are confirmed.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox has been confirmed, I think, since.
What, last year?
And so has whoever plays Vanessa is rumored
Oh,
to
right.
be in.
Ayelet Zura, who was in Man of Steel.
Yeah, who is she's great, yeah, and yeah, she's going to be in the other project maybe as well.
Yeah, the other one.
She's rumored to sort of be back in this. When it gets to all the Matt Murdock stuff, I've got a nice fan theory that I saw online that I want to share with you, gentlemen. But
Go for it.
I liked Alaka Cox in Hawkeye. I think she's great.
Yeah.
Prosthetic leg, and she's doing all those stunts herself. That's insane.
And she's actually deaf, which is weird.
Yeah, and she's emoting so much as well. Like having like to act against that when you can't like hear what the your line or the cue is.
Yeah,
but still emoting so much from your face and in your body language. I think is great. Is it ruining the cliffhanger for the Kingpin? But they were never going to just kill off the Kingpin.
No,
They did the same thing in the comics, though. Yeah, I was never surprised. As soon as they had a pointing at the eye, I was like, well, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, it left it in a place where, like, well, obviously he's going to come back, but also, like, yeah, they could have just been ballsy and gone, yeah, like, we brought him back and now he's dead. But I think Echo is the bridge between Hawkeye, She-Hulk, and another street-level hero that
someone that may be born again.
Maybe, or again, they are yellow and have their cocks out. That is summer.
But I say, still a show. I think, Hawkeye was great. Alaka Cox is amazing, and I do think a show, though, from a character point of view, considering we still are a bit disjointed as to where everything was going, I'm surprised it's happening now.
I'm here for it. Here for it. Give me the Marvel figure now.
I should have said as well, the other rumor about the Murdoch appearances is that in a couple of the shows he's in, he's going to be hunting for Jessica Jones, which presumably means we'll eventually get her back as well. So we'll see.
Christopher Reeve will appear in Echo because she's apparently been seen in a Jessica Jones-esque costume, and obviously with the name change, plus we can assume that there will be.
They're going to do something with the character,
While we're on the old Netflix train, there is rumor that at D23 they will announce a continuation / reimagining a la what we've got, for the character coming up, for John Bernthal to reprise the role of Frank Castle / the Punisher. The
newest rumor today is that he's actually going to appear in the Born Again series first, but we'll see.
That's without reading into that. I think that's my gut feeling. Considering the runtime, what the hell are they going to do for that amount of episodes?
18 episodes.
That's Echo is just down for summer, isn't it? It's not got a
summer 2023. Yeah. But speaking of summer 2023, also after Echo is the date for Loki season 2, which I know we've seen is filming, and that's all we really know.
They actually time travel for more than 10 minutes in an episode, maybe.
Do you think that we're going to get a lot more Jonathan Majors in Loki between?
We'll have to, given the cliffhanger.
You're going to see him in Quantumania.
Yeah,
you're going to see him obviously in Kang Dynasty. You're going to probably see him in a few more places, but
yeah,
I think you kind of have to then
let's play guess the
at
pit
least,
stop.
at least play into the variant side of it a bit more in Loki, because that's probably where it would make them.
But then the questioning with the variants, do you just keep Jonathan Majors as the only physical model, or do you just no, because Kang, different people of colour, race, whatever, you could just guess the audience and just say, is this character who you think he is? No, he's a variant. Nathaniel Richards is the 64. It's not who you think it is. You know, do you play that game of recasting him?
I think it's you make it the most different from Thanos. You make the same guy play low, because I think the fun thing that I thought of when it was like Kang was being set up for the big bad, which we now know to be true, is that Thanos was seeded and barely seen really in terms of like the first three phases. But it would be fun to sort of do it as just each different version of Kang that comes and gets defeated, then learns a different thing, takes that with them, and then
they're not all bad guys either. That's the thing. The fact of using Kang means that you've got access to Kang the Conqueror and He Who Remains that we've seen, but you've also got like Iron Lad, Immortus, Nathaniel Richards, as you mentioned, and whatever the Rama Tut or whatever the Pharaoh version of him is called. But there's lots of things you can play with.
Yeah, Rama.
I think we're going to see all of that, and it's going to give it range and make it a much more compelling, like villain arc, really. Instead of just man sits on chair.
Sit on rock. I click my fingers. You're all dead.
But I do. I did like Loki. I think it's a lot of people have kind of been annoyed by the fact that it ends with just three fabulous actors sitting down and having a conversation, which I think is so well done in terms of like crossing the threshold. And it did change the outlook, at least for these next couple of phases.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
and I look forward to what Tom Hiddleston does, because I like that our Loki is definitively dead. This is a different one that kind of got all of his backstory,
presumably in
sort of changed a bit, but now as he's on his own journey, his own path. Rumors are that Chris Hemsworth will cameo as a version of Thor.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Well, he did voice the fourth frog briefly in season 1.
So the frog's going to... Oh, no, hang on. Get this. Frogman in She-Hulk and Thor Frog. Are they going to do something with...
Yeah, but Frog or Frog Thor. Two completely different...
And Frogman.
Is it Thor as a frog?
You're forgetting the trio. And Frogman. Frogman is Thor in a mask. It's Chris Hemsworth in a mask.
It's just... but not as Thor. Just Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a fact.
It's just me, mate. I'm jumping really high. Look at my shoes.
Look, it's Tatiana. Hey.
But apparently, stuff today, presumably maybe like Chris Hemsworth playing an earlier version of himself, or possibly a variant. Maybe
imagine like Boastful Loki and stuff. So
imagine the dynamic of like Thor being the cocky brother. I mean, all right, we got that episode and it was still part of douchebag Thor, but then you have Loki, this mature, not our OG Loki, but the one that, like George said, is gone on his own journey. He's changing and growing as a person, and you have the brother role reversed. So Loki's like the mentor, while Thor is the arrogant shit, so to speak. Maybe it'd just be a good role reversal, maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. You can do a lot, I think, with a show like Loki in season 2. Although I didn't love season 1, I loved all the sort of individual parts. So I'm excited to see Owen Wilson and what's her name, who plays Sylvie, who's really good as an actress. And Gugu Mbatha Raw again as, and again I can't remember the character name, but Ravenna something. All those parts.
Ravenclaw.
Renslayer or something, isn't it?
The lover of Kang. Some iteration, so that would be interesting. But what we know about that is, more importantly, is that Miss Minutes is confirmed to return. So that's
thank fuck. There you go.
Yeehaw, y'all.
There you go.
It's the biggest jump scare.
Yeah, Paddy, but how many jump scares? That's the question. She's back.
I love how much Tara Strong loves that character. She's been so many cool characters, and yet she's just obsessed with Miss Minutes.
Bloody hell, man. Miss Minutes, man.
Anyway.
What is
the next
thing?
The next thing, ironically, is the thing that we've seen the build up to most recently. So in July 28th, 2023, we're getting The Marvels, and we'll finally find out where Kamala went and have Carol interact with her now supportive family and see Monica again and have Journey Blue from Doctor Who as the bad guy. And that's pretty much all I can tell you.
Wait, who's the baddie?
You know, Tony, Zoe Ashton.
Oh, right. Tom Hiddleston's lover in real
fiancée,
life. Yeah. Oh, okay. She's the villain.
Yeah.
I knew she was in it, but I forgot who she was. But okay, she's the villain.
Yeah, we don't know which villain, but yeah. So yeah. Any other thoughts on the Marvels?
I love Monica Rambeau's appearance in
WandaVision. Wanda Marvel.
I can't wait to see what Tiana Paris does with that character now, like where she's at, because last time she had to go up to space to meet the big guy or whoever it was.
Well, Secret Invasion comes before the Marvels, so maybe she'll appear first. We don't know.
Maybe
that would seem like a natural point of progression.
Good shout.
I love Iman Vellani as
Miss Marvel. Yeah,
she's amazing. Like the wrap up, nice, and obviously the treat that they've been swapped. So Carol's essentially going to have to go and be like, "Oh shit, there's this girl in space. I've got to go and
find her."
Yeah.
So, in my verdict, 2 out of the 3 Marvel characters to feature in the movie, Tiana Paris and Iman Vellani, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, I'm totally on board for. Captain Marvel, this is her chance to shine.
Yeah,
I love Captain Marvel and I love Brie Larson. I'm one of the rare ones that just I'm on board for that. So.
I'm also excited for Nia DaCosta, the director, who is Candyman. Just from a cinematic point of view, like I'm really hoping this film is going to not just look the bollocks, but like I'm hoping there's just going to be some cool creative shots in it. Nia DaCosta excites me. I mean, it wasn't one of last year's riveting films, but just from a cinematic visual experience, it definitely was a positive and a huge highlight for Candyman, and the fact that they've got that to a Marvel subtitled The Marvels. Is it going to be a visual Marvel? I'm excited from that aspect. I just want to mention.
Well, there you go. Speaking of names that are appropriate, will Blade feature a Blade? I wonder, because that is the next long-awaited thing to come on November the 3rd, I believe, next year.
I think, is Dane Whitman going to be in it?
That's the intriguing thing.
It was to be in this film.
You're a bloody vampire? Oh, no way.
I've got my magic sword. And
I'm gonna kick some ass.
Yeah. Kit Harington. Yeah, thanks for coming back, man. Please get out.
Please for coming back, Batman.
Oh yeah, I love the movie films I'm in with the magic swords. Sometimes I break ice. Sometimes I go all wiggly like gooey and go ooh.
The only other thing I can mention about Blade is that I just hope it's going to be not like childish and maybe R-rated, but we'll see.
Yeah, please. Just as Deadpool can't really be neutered by its rating, the same can be said for Blade, because you remember in the Spider-Man 90s animated cartoon when Punisher's in it, but he just fires lasers. And how Morbius is in it, but he only wants plasma.
I need to suck your blood through these things on my hands, even though I have fangs.
I draw out your plasma through my hands, and one day I will be Jared Leto, and the internet will hate me.
The very next project in fall of next year, we didn't mention, she's actually going to be introduced in Black Panther. We talked so much about that, but we didn't mention Ironheart, who's getting her own series and will be introduced first in that film. So, yeah, thoughts?
Trailer, which it's cool we're finally getting it, because I know Ironheart's one of those ones that were announced after the initial lot of Disney Plus shows and has been pushed back a bit. A lot of Armor Wars, but we'll get to that eventually.
Poor Armor Wars.
I'm excited to see, because it'd be nice to see how someone who takes the Iron Man legacy, but as someone who, as they said, didn't really know him, because obviously she was too young when he started being Iron Man.
She missed
only
him.
through the blip and stuff and her genius intellect that she kind of.
I think that's why they're linking her more to like Shuri and Wakanda rather than Tony Stark. So I don't know if he'll have that big a part to play, but yeah.
Well, because I know before it was rumored like he'd come back as an AI kind of interface thing, but then it's like you're paying him too much money again. I'd like how that sort of tie a bow on this whole Iron Man legacy thing, which was obviously, we say it, but like Armor Wars was going to be that, and maybe tidying up with that technology and Justin Hammer and giving Rhodey like an end,
and then
sort of thing.
Something. Yeah.
I hope Rhodey does turn up in it at some point. Maybe an odd appearance from Favreau, and if you can get her for a day, not that she'll remember she's in it, but Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool. So, did you guys see the illustrations of the Mark I Ironheart armor, and what did you think of it?
I've not seen the illustrations.
No, I've not. No.
Oh, it's all. You can go look it up online. There's Funko Pops and there's behind-the-scenes images and concept art. So it's very similar to Iron Man's Mark I in that it doesn't look so refined, which I like. It looks like she's just strapped shit tons of like microwave equipment to herself or something. So it's very bulky and it's very unrefined. Which, yeah, that's cool. If they're starting that way, it's kind of a nice idea.
Yeah, you get someone to be around for eons and they can refine it, and you get character progression, and it's a child that's going to be beating up criminals, and it's going to be great. Is it still meant to be 6 episodes?
I don't know. The only thing episode numbers that I know is that Born Again's going to be 18. Other than that, I haven't a clue.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming everything is the same.
Is Born Again next? Are we on this?
Not quite. We have the thing that's only made for me coming next. I don't think anybody else has bothered. But personally, I can't wait for winter 2023 to 24 to see Agatha Coven of Chaos. Because come on, it's Catherine Hahn. That's all you need to know.
House of Harkness, hasn't it?
House of Harkness.
Yeah, they changed the name.
Coven of Chaos.
Yeah.
But Coven of Witches, does that suggest more than one witch or bitch?
Probably, but I think they probably changed the name to avoid comparisons with House of M because it's not really anything to do with that.
Right. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah. Oh my god, they're doing House of Mutants in a witch show. Yeah, maybe let's change that.
I hope that I hope that there's.
Didn't even think about.
I mean, more Catherine Hahn because it's amazing because she's great. I hope that there's still elements of was in sort of WandaVision. I don't want it to be like full on sitcom vibe.
No.
Sort of like because
I hope it's comedy. You can play with the genre a bit.
Yeah. She's clearly been fucked about a bit by the Hex anyway, in terms of she's been stranded there to be this sitcom character. Like, will you have that kind of bleed in, and she's kind of like trying to break the fourth wall, but then realizing that there's no audience there, kind of thing. You're gonna like
yeah, like a reverse anti-WandaVision, anti-WandaVision. Yeah.
And apart from that, we don't really know what.
Nothing, right? Nothing.
Do we know anyone else that's in?
No, they haven't revealed anything, but that's the end of next year, the start of 2024, so there's plenty of time. But yeah, I'm with Conor in that naming it Coven of Chaos suggests that it'll be her leading a group rather than on her own, so that could be funny.
So could it be the I know we got the episode 8 sort of flashback of her being sort of exiled by the other witches and then her killing them all, but is it just going to be let's find out what she was like before she became the Great Witch, and then jump forward to then her being in the sitcom thing, and then she's going to suddenly remember that Wanda Maximoff is around, and then she's going to do bibbidi bobbidi boo and save her, and it's going to be a Wanda Agatha round 2 finale. Like, is that kind of what it is? Because I don't see this being part of the Secret Wars. I don't think so. Personally, I kind of hope not, because that seems like a cop-out. Like, part of me wants it to be that she, like, escapes from Wanda's whatever spell, and she just finds, like, mistreated, like, really minor mystical characters from the Marvel comics and forms, like, a group with some of the funnier, like, really crap magician characters and stuff, you know? I'm going to move to spring 2024, mainly because my devices are all dying, but never mind. And because that's the one you all wanted to talk about, Born Again. Matt Murdock's back in the MCU with an 18-episode series. Born Again, bitches. But for this time, you've got 3 seasons worth of episodes. You've got.
So didn't they do the Born Again storyline in season 3 on Netflix? Are they just going to repeat it?
Yeah, it was loosely adapted, but yeah, season 3 was Born Again, from what I understand. Anyway, so it does feel weird. But then I think the title is more of not a full wall break, but an allusion. To
I think you're right. Yeah,
just kind of a. Yeah, I'm back. I'm born again. It's not a soft reboot. It is a soft reboot, and I'm not totally not how you remember me from 5 years ago. But I am back. I'm born again, bitches, and I'm here to stay.
Officially in the MCU, yeah.
Yeah, which as long as it's a soft reboot in terms of the focus and the but still a continuation, like the series on Netflix did happen, because what heard from Kevin Feige and the inclusion of Kingpin and Matt Murdock in both Hawkeye and Spider-Man No Way Home, has proved that that stuff did happen, but it's not going to be essential to you to see it to get it, because we can play with these characters a bit more. So it would be nice that you do get some payoff of. I hope it does build on the character from the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And I hope that maybe not. I'm not expecting in this season. Maybe if we get something else, or a Hell or Daredevil movie, that I hope we get some reprieve for Bullseye, how he was left at the end of season 3, because that was kind of set for an arc in season 4. It's a shame that the creative team that were on Daredevil aren't on this version of Daredevil, but they were on Moon Knight. Kind of, it's strange how that all works, because they had all those plans for season 4 written up, and it would have been nice to kind of, maybe not do it directly, but kind of be like, tell this bit of your story, but we want it to link in this way. D'Onofrio's confirmed, which is a given, which is nice, because it'd be nice because obviously Kevin Feige said that even Spider-Man will be going into the street level. It's kind of, we've got the big heroes and we've got the street level ones. Spider-Man going into work more with the street level heroes. Hopefully that means we get. Hopefully that means probably a Spider-Man movie with Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin in it, which I fucking the aspect of. But yeah, it's just nice to have Charlie Cox back, because I think he has been, the one that everyone said, like, at least him back. And we've had him back in Spider-Man. We're getting him back in all these things now, and we're getting. Is 18 episodes too much, do you think, Mike?
It depends what they do with it, because I was never one of the people that complained about being like 12 episodes plus or whatever on Netflix. I think if they've got the story to do it, they could do it well. Having said that, season 2 of the show on Netflix did falter after the first 6 or 7, but that was because they did the ninja storyline, which if they had a better storyline, it might have been fine, because season 3 worked. But yeah, I think it depends what they're doing with it, and it depends a lot on the supporting cast. I really hope they bring Deborah Wall back as Karen and Eldon Henson as Foggy. And if they focus on their sort of stories and stuff as well, it could really work,
They're rumoured to be signing on or have signed on to return in this.
They have to reprise.
Maybe an announcement at D23 or Investor Day or something like that.
Because for me, that's what really worked about season 3, is that it had the same number of episodes, but it spent a good 2 to 3 dealing with Karen Page's story. And I think that was really well done and compelling, and Deborah's a good enough actor that you can follow her even if she's not a superhero and not wonder where's the dude with the batons this week?
No, 100%.
Or dumb femme fatale love interest. Save me, Daredevil man, save me! Yeah,
it built such a world within, even just within Daredevil itself, that those characters work better match.
If they are doing the actual Born Again storyline from the comics, then it would make sense to make us sort of fall more and more in love with Karen Page, because by the end of the series, she dead.
Oh shit!
That is true.
Spoiler alert! The comic over 20 years old.
People know this, surely. That was the defining moment in Daredevil comics. But
I didn't. You ruined my feelings, damn it.
Like you said, hopefully there's no sag in the middle. What else are they going to do within the 18 episodes? Is it just going to be that? I feel like
that storyline as well is so intriguing that it can last 18 episodes, because the whole idea of it being Kingpin's found out who he is, but instead of being petty or whatever, it's just I'm going to ruin Matt Murdock's life and empty his bank accounts and get his girlfriend addicted to drugs and porn, and eventually he's just going to be broken down as a man because he's going to have nothing left, and that's his seeing that progress as a drama over those episodes would be really interesting. So if they do that, it could be awesome.
But hopefully not Disney-fied. Of course,
exactly.
If this was the Netflix team, the same team, then you would know it would have that same sort of quality. All right, they would have to change something because it's Disney Plus and family-friendly streaming service, but
I'd argue that stuff like Moon Knight has pushed more in that direction.
Definitely pushed the boundaries for sure.
Plus, this isn't that far off the back of Blade, so by then they might have R-rated stuff, and they've already confirmed Marvel Zombies is going to be R-rated when that comes out. So the cartoon, anyway.
No, of course. There's hope. Daredevil's got. He's got hope in Daredevil. Clearly, he just said, "Yeah, fine. Have as many episodes as you like."
How many? You pick a number. Episodes you can do, Vincent. 18.
Next release, we're 2 parts away from the end of Phase 5. Sorry, now. The next release The next release on May the 3rd of 2024 is something else we've already had the setup for and it got announced. It's Captain America New World Order. New title, but we know it's going to have the Sam Wilson cap involved. So
articles already talking about how they want Chris Evans to be involved in the movie in some way, which is like, oh, let's just let Sam be Captain America now. Chris has let's let fucking what's his name? What's it? Anthony Mackie.
Anthony and Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan. Surely you've got to have the duo in it.
Oh yes, I mean
they are Captain.
They've like Sebastian joked that if Anthony has anything to do with it, he won't want me anywhere near that movie. But we shall see. I'm really excited because
I do like that it's the same guys that did the show as well, though, because I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it is Malcolm Spellman who's coming to do the movie to write that as well. So hopefully it'll be very of that vibe. Sorry.
Paradox is rumored to be signed on for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting. I mean, I like that franchise will continue, but it's going to be completely different. It's got, like you said, the creative team behind Falcon and Winter Soldier that I think by the end of it was a pretty decent, show and adaptation of like that, transition of that character. We're going to get Captain America for everyone. Like they said, the main thing is how do you represent America now? And that's kind of the challenge that they're going to find in real life, right?
It was really brave, especially at the minute, to adapt Red, White, and Black and do the whole kind of there was a black Captain America, but nobody knows who he is because he was like government experiments and he was the one that they wanted to forget about the dirty little secret. And it's like, wow, I can't believe you actually had the balls to do that.
Yeah, it's a nice way to sort of like to cap unquote the end of this phase, really.
Well, there's one left, so I'll just quickly go on to that one. So on July the 28th, we finish Phase 5 with the Thunderbolts movie, which again, we know they've been building up to. We know it's going to probably feature Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's going to have Wyatt Russell as US agent, probably maybe Yelena, Black Widow involved, and whoever else they can use as an anti-hero.
I think a couple of weeks ago it was rumored to like have Yelena Belova, Zemo.
Zemo, yeah.
John Walker. There was there was a couple of people, and there was like a surprise that was a couple of surprise ones in there. I don't know. I'll have to try and maybe find that thing again and pull it up. But there was a couple in it from like past MCU things. Okay. Obviously, Thunderbolt Ross may have been included in it at a different draft of it, but
R.I.P. man.
Yeah,
they can still have him be the inspiration for the name and have it be that like we lost a great man and he was the one that stood up against superpowered threats, and so we name ourselves the Thunderbolts after him.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say you can definitely have Red Hulk, but just not sadly
not same actor.
But yeah, stuff like that. It's basically it's been alluded to. It's going to be their version of the Suicide Squad, which is.
I just think tonally the movie's going to be very similar to that. Ideally, James Gunn's version, not 2016, and hopefully it will change the genre as well, like a supervillain ensemble done by Marvel and the wonderful mind of the MCU. Hopefully is better than just your average ensemble movie. Like, I am excited for Thunderbolts, but again, we don't know anything about it.
It's a fun, crazy way to sort of end the phase. And it's probably not going to be too consequential in terms of the overall... The
cosmic multiverse stuff.
The overall status quo of the MCU going forward. It's probably going to, maybe like Civil War, like have that effect for a little bit, but, have to be addressed at some point later on when it gets to the Avengers.
Unless Kang is part of the team, but it's a character that we aren't sure who it is.
Well, I said, Iron Lad is in the Young Avengers, so maybe.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I think that's fun. In terms of Phase 5, it certainly looks like a lot of fun. A lot more coherent than Phase 4. Well, I don't know if that's just me, because I think if we'd have had this before the end of Phase 4, I think we'd have been sort of like, so like you're going to have maybe a few inconsequential stories, but when we get into the crux of it, like everything is kind of important to this, included like what happened in Multiverse was kind of a starting point for the Multiverse saga, because it seems like Doctor Strange will at least be a important figure in terms of maybe the Iron Man figure for this saga.
Right.
Well,
in terms
the
of-
thing is, we don't know what happens until we see the events. Because I mean, they could technically reveal that Doctor Strange was a Skrull, which would explain some of his weird behavior, but also completely flip on our head what we think.
Yeah. Well, you know, I feel like anyone could walk into Secret Invasion unannounced. They're going to have to put everyone in fucking like robes and rags. Anyone could be in Secret Invasion. I hope.
even you at home.
Even yeah, exactly. Even us at home.
And what as we go into 6 and beyond?
Phase 6 is just a lot of gaps, with the exception of 3 movies. But I do have some information about some of them, which I can share for you. So in November of 2024, it's not the launch of Phase 6. There is a gap beforehand, but we are finally getting Fantastic Four. And I did finally, I did get some news about that, which I'll read out verbatim because I actually saved it. Oh yeah, this is just various other bits of news. So we know that Destin Daniel Cretton is going to be directing Kang Dynasty when we get to it. They've also confirmed that Bassam Tariq is directing Blade. Julius Ona, as you mentioned, is set for Captain America: New World Order, and Jake Schreier from Paper Towns is directing Thunderbolts. Apparently, the studio is actively hunting for a filmmaker for Fantastic Four, which lost John Watts. So it does say that Feige has confirmed it will. Well, he didn't want to do it, basically. But now Feige has confirmed that it will not be another origin story, because we know that Marvel don't like them. He just says a lot of people know this origin story. A lot of people know the basics. How do we take that and bring something that they've never seen before? We've set a very high bar for ourselves with bringing that to the screen. Yeah, so I think that was... Yeah, well, and then Feige just said these phases are about resetting the MCU and meeting all these new characters. So there you go.
Yeah, so my reaction to that news, thank fuck, we know the story. Doctor Doom is coming just because of Secret Wars. I personally I don't want Doctor Doom in the fourth adaptation of Fantastic Four, like straight away. I mean, not to have him in the universe, not to have him be a part of it. I just don't want him being the big bad, because even the Roger Corman.
They've never really done him right, though, you know.
Doctor Doom is in all the movies. They've got a Rose Gallery. They've got a Mole Man. They've got a gallery.
Yeah, Mole Man.
Someone else.
The Mole Mans.
The Mole Mans.
All of the Mole Man. Mole Man, like we've said before, is it going to be John Krasinski in it and directing it? Like, where do we stand on it? I'm just looking forward to Fantastic Four made by people that aren't Josh Trank. So
yeah, people will get it.
With Super Skrull and Annihilus as the villain. Maybe if the Skrulls are actually going to be important post Secret Invasion.
Maybe you have them deal with the cleanup of the Skrulls from Secret Invasion, and then you have Doctor Doom out there and sort of like, I'll get you one day.
It's kind of weird because they've announced that the close to Phase 6 is going to be 2 Avengers movies in the same year, which is going to be in May, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, and in November, Avengers: Secret Wars. Which, if you know the comics, you know those 2 are big stories, and so yeah, people are excited even though we don't really know much about them. So yeah.
But I feel like for that movie, all balls can drop. Anyone can turn up.
I like the Dustin, because I love Dustin Daniel Cretton, because I love Shang-Chi, so I'm looking forward to, especially after kind of like, I'm not really here for the ensemble thing, I'm just here for like do my thing and tell my story, and then it's like, do the Kang Dynasty now, or I kill you. Me, Kevin Feige.
Feige's a real life Laszlo Craven.
I know that Russo said that Secret Wars would be the only thing that would bring him back, but I'm kind of don't want them to. Like, I wouldn't mind if they did, but I'm kind of, let someone a la, because we were talking about, I don't know if you thought this the same, Mike, that, that giving Destin Daniel Cretton Kang Dynasty, like it was a bit like out of field for like that choice, because you think they would have gone for a Peyton Reed, or if he wasn't pissed off by them, a James I think would have been a shoe-in for a kind of Avengers thing, because I know that Peyton Reed and that, so like would he have done the ensemble piece that they could have worked?
I would have put my money on somebody like Destin Daniel Cretton or Ryan Coogler, looking at what money they made them and the films that they made. I thought would have expected that, and in fact, it'll still be Coogler that does Secret Wars. You don't know, but
I would say for Secret Wars 100%. I mean,
I'd be down in
terms of like, I think still working like recurring directors. I think he's one of the best.
Yeah.
Like in style and stuff like that, and it'd be great to see him actually tackle an Avengers movie, but then all that make him think, you know what, I don't really want to do a Black Panther 3. I'm kind of a bit knackered.
I'm out
because
of it,
an Avengers movie kind of does that to people.
Mm.
Like Joss Whedon. Yeah, I couldn't think of. I think it's an out of field choice, but I'm really, because I love Shang-Chi. One of my favourite. I like the films that have been, they link slightly to the wider universe at play, but it's also like it's its own
They're
self.
softer. They're softer.
Yeah. I love Shang-Chi.
It was a good movie.
On the plot, and No Way Home. I think I like just the nostalgia that gave, and closing of the 20-year circle of Spider-Man in film is like,
of course, yeah.
of that style. I think like the fight stuff in Shang-Chi was just like phenomenal. I think if you look, but Secret Wars, man.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to ask about, because if they're doing Secret Wars, do you think that one of the gaps before that is going to be the inevitable X-Men introduction, or are they going to introduce them in Secret Wars as like, this is one of the realities that's clashing with ours, is the Fox X-Men, or another universe where there's mutants, or what?
A plot twist in Kang Dynasty, because I just think it would be a bit sudden if all of a sudden the mutants are in Secret Wars. Something's got to happen in Kang Dynasty.
Well, they've already introduced like 2 or 3 of them, because we've had the big Kamala Khan reveal, and now we're getting Namor, so they're seeding it bit by bit. But yeah,
but the Kamala Khan thing's a bit, she's an Inhuman. That was a bit annoying. But because if rumors are to be believed, that then like Patrick Stewart will be back in Secret Wars along with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
So, and if the rumors are to be believed about the contractual obligations when they bought out the Fox rights to X-Men, is that they can't recast or make any new X-Men version of characters or movies until 2025. So that does kind of line up, but like not a lot of time to be like, and here's the X-Men, and this is why you care. But it may be, I don't know, or would they leave it till after and sort of give them a proper space to breathe? But then you're kind of like, a lot of these characters are dead, all the good ones you like. Well, overall, I think it was definitely a big mic drop kind of moment. I think because it was clarity, like we said, it was excitement for other stuff we didn't know was coming. Other stuff we had an inkling of. Obviously, we got first looks at Black Panther. We got a better look at She-Hulk. We got a bunch of products to like that maybe people aren't as excited for as others, but like X-Men '97, man, stuff like that. Everything there is something for everything, and I'm excited to find out what the rest of Phase 6 is and where that sort of leaves us off for this saga, and whether hopefully we'll learn all about that, and obviously stuff will chop and change and be added, I assume, like it always happens with these kind of things. But will anything added that we haven't heard about yet? Because we know that of the trademark, the rumoured trademark list, a lot of it turned out to be true. There's still stuff on there like Red Guardian Generation, a new adaptation of The Runaways, Hercules, the supposed title of the Shang-Chi sequel, Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time, Midnight Suns adaptation.
I think that was already
Black
revealed to be a
Knight
video
Origin.
game, because this came out, by the way.
Or Midnight Suns, yeah, that is a game, yeah.
But I want it now. I want an adaptation. Obviously, Young Avengers in some capacity, Celestials and other such things, all the way up until 2030. So, will any more of those things that haven't been revealed yet be revealed? Because I'm interested to see.
Shang-Chi too is the same. Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I think that Shang-Chi's that's a great title.
But that could potentially tie with
tie into the Kang stuff, and then that's like Destin's test run of
Heck, Destin's is Destin. Is that a thing?
He's signed on for the sequel and also a Disney Plus series of the Ten Rings following Zhe Ling, and a apparent rumored Wonder Man show.
Yeah, that's Wonder Man. Yeah, that's.
So some of the stuff that we know that wasn't properly talked about. Like we said, Lee said the Halloween special, the untitled Wakanda Disney Plus series. which there was an Okoye rumoured one. We don't know if those are the same thing or two completely different entities. Armour Wars, we still don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's still happening. Wonder Man, we know. Nova, still rumoured to get a Disney Plus adaptation, possibly a movie, but that's unclear. The current state of Deadpool 3, where that's going, we don't know about that yet, but
it's got to be
more stuff to be. Oh, that's.
hello. I thought someone else joined the chat. I was like, who's that?
The Ironheart stuff.
That's the Ironheart Mark 1 armor. Yeah.
That's delicious. Oh, I can't wait.
Sexy.
No, don't say that. She's a kid. Conor.
The armor is sexy.
Oh, good, yes, yeah. Well done.
Six. Anyway.
And obviously, a Spider-Man 4 of some kind has been talked about by Kevin and Amy Pasty.
Well, I do sort of run or co-run 2 different podcasts. One that is all about movies called the Silver Screen Podcast. You can also check us out on Hit or Miss Star Trek Podcast, just reviewing all things Star Trek. We are about to start our 3rd series, which is based around time travel. And we have a few good interviews and stuff on that channel as well. You can find us. Links to everything are on the 2 Twitter pages, which is at podcast_screen for the Silver Screen or at HOM Trek. That's Home Trek for Hit or Miss Star Trek. And then you can just type in the name of the podcasts onto like Instagram or Facebook and find us. But we're also always linked on all videos and Twitter pages and stuff. So do look us up.
Very well done. Very well said.
Yes. And if you really want an episode that goes off the rails, you can listen to when we talked about what we do in the shadows, because that was a fun one.
You still only came second in the off the rails stakes to the episode a couple of weeks later when I had We Pay for Your Floor reviewing Chicago, which was the maddest 2.5 hours of my life.
I still need to finish the episode. That's great, honestly.
It's great.
Yeah, please check out all of Mike's stuff. He's become a dear friend. You can follow at Pasty Sheep across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for some reason, even though there's not really much on there, but hey ho. If you want to send an electronic mail,
then send it to. I was going to say my personal email. You don't want none of that. Nerdbiblepodcast@gmail.com. It's been a long day. Some of us work 9 to 5,
Excelsior! In the epic words of Arnie, I'll be back.